The dark emptiness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with distant stars that flickered like cold eyes watching from afar. A small convoy of human scout ships moved cautiously, scanning the sectors beyond the Orion Rift. They were supposed to be on a simple mission: explore an unclaimed system, report anything unusual, and return. Simple. But the humans did not know, the aliens had been watching them for weeks, waiting, planning the perfect trap. On the bridge of the lead scout, Commander Elara's hands hovered over the controls. Her eyes were sharp, constantly shifting across the holographic displays. "Sensors report nothing unusual," she said, voice calm but tense. Her crew nodded, but everyone felt the same prickling unease. It was as if the void itself held its breath, waiting for something to happen. Suddenly, a strange blip appeared on the radar. It was faint, almost imperceptible. "Commander, we have an anomaly, approaching fast," reported Lieutenant Kieran. The blip moved erratically, weaving in ways no known ship should. "Could be debris," Elara said, trying to stay steady. But deep down, she knew better. Before anyone could react, the convoy was surrounded. Alien ships, sleek and dark, emerged from the shadows of a nearby asteroid field. They moved with deadly precision, cutting off every possible escape route. The aliens had studied human tactics for months, anticipating every move. But they had underestimated something, a human instinct that no algorithm could predict. "Open hailing frequencies," Elara ordered. The aliens did not respond. Their ships glowed with an eerie green light, a silent warning. Then the first strike came, a pulse of energy that rattled the human ships, throwing some off course. Alarms blared, red lights flashing across the control panels. Crew members scrambled to stabilize their vessels, sweat forming on brows despite the cold vacuum outside. Elara gritted her teeth. "Hold formation. Prepare countermeasures." Her voice carried a strange calm, almost unnerving to those around her. The aliens, confident in their ambush, had no idea what humans were capable of when pushed to the edge. From the shadows, one alien ship broke formation and darted toward the lead scout. It fired a concentrated beam aimed directly at the human vessel. The crew braced for impact. Then, in a move no alien commander could predict, the scout's hull shimmered, and a hidden defense system activated. A wave of plasma erupted outward, tearing through the attacking ship. It disintegrated into nothingness, leaving the remaining aliens in stunned silence. The humans were not waiting. Their ships moved with precision, synchronized like a deadly dance. Each shot was calculated, each maneuver a trap set for the unprepared alien forces. The attackers had assumed humans were easy prey, slow and predictable. They were wrong. Humans thrived on improvisation, on instinct, on chaos. Meanwhile, aboard the flagship, the alien leader roared in frustration. His claws tapped the command console, eyes narrowing. They should not have survived the first strike. Why are they fighting back? His officers exchanged uneasy glances. It was rare to see humans display such tactical brilliance. Rare, but dangerous. Elara watched from the bridge, her face calm, almost serene. Her mind raced, but outwardly, she showed no fear. Every human ship in her convoy mirrored her focus. They were small in number, but determination made them unstoppable. The aliens, for all their technology, had made a fatal error. They assumed superiority meant they could dictate the outcome. The battle intensified. Explosions lit up the darkness, painting the void in flashes of red, green, and blue. Debris floated like deadly stars, drifting between combatants. But humans adapted. Each alien ship that attacked fell into a carefully laid trap. Mines, energy nets, decoys. Elara had anticipated the worst and prepared for it. Suddenly, a massive alien cruiser emerged from the far side of the battlefield. Its size alone could crush several human ships at once. "Brace for impact," shouted Kieran. The humans steadied themselves, their eyes fixed on the looming threat. But Elara smiled slightly. She had been waiting for this moment. "Now," she whispered. Hidden within the scout ships were devices the aliens had never seen before. experimental weapons developed in secret on Earth. With a single coordinated signal, the devices activated. A wave of energy surged through space, targeting the cruiser's engines and weapons. The massive ship shuddered violently, systems failing one by one. It spun helplessly before being swallowed by a flash of light, leaving nothing but silence. For a moment, the void was still again. The surviving aliens hesitated, fear creeping into their movements. Humans, battered but unbroken, floated calmly among the stars. They had survived an ambush designed to end them. More than survive, they had turned it into a trap of their own. Ilara's voice echoed across the comms. This is just the beginning. Let them learn one lesson today: never underestimate humans. And somewhere in the dark reaches of space, the aliens realized a terrifying truth. Their carefully planned ambush had backfired spectacularly. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was a predator they had never seen coming. The first strike of this encounter was over, but the war had only just begun. And the humans, small in number, but unyielding in spirit, were ready for whatever came next. The human convoy drifted silently through the void, each ship scarred from the sudden ambush but alive. The explosions and flashes of the first encounter still lingered in everyone's minds. Crew members moved like shadows across the bridges, checking systems, patching hull breaches, and scanning the surrounding space for new threats. The quiet was deceptive. Every human knew the aliens were still out there, hiding, watching, waiting for their next move. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the lead scout, eyes fixed on the holographic map. Small green blips moved at the edge of their sensors, aliens regrouping. She didn't flinch. Humans had survived worse. "Prepare for another attack," she said calmly, her voice cutting through the tension. "But this time, we make them pay for their mistake." Lieutenant Kieran frowned. "Commander, there are too many ships. If they strike together, we might not hold them off." He paused, swallowing hard. "They've learned from the first strike." Ilara's gaze didn't waver. "Exactly. And they'll make mistakes again because they assume humans are predictable. Let's remind them we're anything but." The alien forces slowly revealed themselves from the shadows. Their ships were larger this time, more intimidating, moving in tight formations that promised destruction. But humans had something the aliens could not calculate: instinct and unpredictability. Ilara knew every ship in her convoy would act as one unit, but each pilot also had the freedom to improvise. That combination made them dangerous. Suddenly, one of the smaller human scouts surged forward, darting between the alien formation like a striking serpent. It fired a barrage of plasma bolts, not to destroy, but to distract. The aliens adjusted, trying to respond, but the humans had already set the next trap. Hidden behind a cluster of asteroids were automated defense drones, unseen until triggered. As the alien ships passed, mines erupted, slicing into hulls and sending debris scattering in all directions. Chaos unfolded across the battlefield. Explosions lit the darkness, illuminating twisted metal and fragments of alien ships drifting silently. The humans used every tool at their disposal: energy nets, electromagnetic pulses, and holographic decoys that made it impossible for the aliens to target them accurately. Each human pilot moved with instinctive precision, as though they could predict the enemy's moves before the aliens even thought of them. On the alien flagship, the commander's fury grew. "They are too organized, but too unpredictable," he barked. His crew looked on nervously, their calculations failing one by one. "Focus fire," he demanded. "Do not let them escape. Capture them alive." Meanwhile, Ilara smiled faintly. She had expected this. The alien obsession with capturing humans alive would be their downfall. Humans thrived on freedom of thought, improvisation, and survival instinct. No trap could contain them when they worked together but thought independently. One of the alien cruisers tried to flank the human convoy from the side. Its weapons locked onto a transport ship, and energy beams streaked across the void. Kieran shouted warnings, and the transport pilot twisted the ship sharply. At the last second, hidden micromissiles released from the hull struck the alien cruiser, throwing it off balance. It spiraled, colliding with debris from the first ambush, and exploded in a bright flash that lit up the dark expanse. Humans pressed the advantage. They were small in number, but they controlled the battlefield. Every alien ship that dared to attack fell into human traps. Their superior numbers meant nothing if they were divided and manipulated. The aliens had planned to capture, but humans turned the plan into destruction. Ilara's comms buzzed with updates. "Commander, we've detected more ships coming from the far side of the system," reported Kieran. "It's a full assault fleet, thousands strong." Her eyes narrowed. "Then it's time to show them why humans are never easy prey." She activated a hidden protocol aboard the lead scout. Energy surged through the ship's engines, and a faint glow shimmered along the hull. The humans were ready to strike back, not just defend. Suddenly, a massive alien battleship emerged from hyperspace. Its shadow fell across the human fleet like a dark cloud. Every human ship tensed. The alien leader had brought his best, expecting to overwhelm and capture them. But Ilara remained calm. Her hands moved swiftly across the controls. "Target the engines and weapons arrays. Hit them hard, but stay mobile. We're going to make this painful." In the blink of an eye, coordinated volleys erupted from every human ship. Lasers, missiles, and plasma bursts tore into the massive alien cruiser. The humans had learned from the first attack, and they were faster, smarter, and relentless. Systems failed aboard the alien ship. Energy shields flickered and died. Weapons went silent. The massive vessel shuddered, then drifted powerless, unable to continue the assault. The alien fleet hesitated. They had expected an easy victory. Instead, they faced chaos, unpredictability, and devastating efficiency. Humans were not just surviving, they were dominating. Ilara's voice carried across the comms, calm and resolute. "Let this be a warning. Humans fight with more than strength, they fight with will, strategy, and unity. Never underestimate us." For a moment, the void was silent again. But this calm was only temporary. The humans knew the aliens would return, stronger and more ruthless. Yet, with each engagement, they were learning, adapting, and preparing for the bigger battles ahead. The ambush that was meant to capture them had backfired spectacularly. And somewhere in the darkness, the alien commander realized a terrifying truth: humans were not prey. Humans were predators. And their instincts were sharper than any weapon the aliens possessed. The first strike was over. The second assault had begun. And the humans were ready, no matter the cost. The debris from the last battle floated silently through the void, glinting like broken stars against the dark expanse. The human convoy drifted cautiously, scanning for any sign of remaining alien forces. Every pilot knew that the aliens were cunning, patient hunters. They would strike again, and this time with full force. Yet, humanity had proven one thing: survival was not enough. Humans fought back. Commander Ilara stood at the bridge of the lead scout, her hands resting lightly on the console. She didn't move unnecessarily. Every command was deliberate. "Sensors show movement in the asteroid belt," she said quietly. Her voice carried calm, but her eyes burned with focus. The crew leaned in, their attention fully captured. "Multiple readings," Lieutenant Kieran added, his voice tight with tension. "It's too many to track individually. They're coordinating." Ilara nodded slowly. "Good. Let them come together. That makes them predictable. Humans know how to exploit predictability." Without warning, the asteroid belt erupted with motion. Alien ships surged from cover, twisting and weaving through the rocks like deadly snakes. This time, the aliens were aggressive, sending waves of fighters ahead of the main fleet. Their plan was clear: overwhelm the humans before they could organize a proper defense. But humans were ready. The convoy spread out, weaving through the asteroids with precision. Every ship moved independently, yet as part of a single organism. Each human pilot anticipated enemy maneuvers, adapting instantly. Missiles streaked past, only to meet empty space as holographic decoys distracted their tracking systems. Laser blasts tore through rocks, sending small fragments into the path of pursuing aliens, forcing them to dodge or risk collision. On the bridge of the alien flagship, the commander's frustration was growing. Why are they responding differently? They shouldn't be this fast. He slammed a clawed hand on the console, and his officers exchanged uneasy looks. They had studied humans for decades, but they were still unpredictable, still adaptive. Every advantage they had counted for nothing against instinct and willpower. Ilara gave a single command. Initiate the spiral formation. Her crew responded immediately. The ships twisted into a tight, spiraling pattern, creating layers of defense while simultaneously preparing for attack. The humans were small in number, but they turned that weakness into strength. It was a trap the aliens could not see coming. The alien fleet charged, but as they entered the spiral, their formation broke apart. Missiles launched from hidden compartments, striking alien ships with deadly accuracy. Energy nets shot out, entangling engines and causing ships to spin uncontrollably. Explosions lit up the darkness like fireworks, reflecting off asteroid surfaces in chaotic beauty. Humans moved with precision, striking when the enemy was exposed, disappearing before retaliation could hit. Kieran's voice broke through the tension. "Commander, there's a large cruiser approaching from behind. It's moving fast, and it's armed with heavy energy cannons." Ilara didn't flinch. "Good. Let's welcome it." Hidden devices within the convoy ships began to hum faintly, releasing waves of electromagnetic pulses designed to disable electronic systems. The cruiser's weapons went silent mid-charge. It staggered, engines faltering, before being struck by plasma bursts from multiple human scouts. The massive alien ship was ripped apart in a storm of fire and metal, leaving only twisted fragments floating in silence. The remaining alien fighters hesitated. Fear crept into their movements, hesitation that humans could sense instinctively. Humans did not just survive, they dominated the battlefield. The aliens had come expecting prey, but they were now facing predators who knew how to strike efficiently and vanish before retaliation. Ilara scanned the battlefield. "We need to finish this before reinforcements arrive. Prepare the secondary pulse. Target their command ships." Her voice was calm, but her eyes were cold. Every human pilot prepared, synchronized, ready to act as one. The humans had turned chaos into a weapon, and the aliens were about to learn the cost of underestimating them. Suddenly, a massive wave of alien fighters attempted to regroup and encircle the convoy. But humans were faster. The spiral tightened, forcing the aliens into concentrated zones. Mines, decoys, and plasma blasts tore through them with devastating effect. One by one, alien ships fell, their engines flaming, their hulls ripped open. The alien commander's roar echoed across the comms. "Impossible! They should not have survived. Retreat, retreat and regroup." But even as he ordered withdrawal, Ilara's voice cut through the void. "This is not a negotiation. You chose to attack us. Humans do not forgive. Humans do not forget." The remaining alien ships tried to flee, but the humans pursued, striking with precision. Every movement, every attack, was designed to send a message: humans were not prey. They were the apex predators, cunning, relentless, and unpredictable. As silence returned to the battlefield, Ilara allowed herself a small, faint smile. The convoy was battered but intact. Every human crew member knew the fight was far from over, but they had sent a warning across the stars: humanity could not be captured, could not be controlled. The ambush that was meant to end them had instead revealed the true strength of humans. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the alien commander realized a chilling truth. Humans were not only surviving, they were learning, adapting, and preparing. And when humans fought back, the results were catastrophic for anyone foolish enough to challenge them. The first wave had been crushed. The second wave had failed. But Ilara knew the war was only beginning. And humanity would be ready for whatever came next. The human convoy drifted through the aftermath of the latest skirmish. Pieces of alien ships floated like shattered stars, a silent reminder of the battle's intensity. The crew worked quickly, patching hulls and recalibrating weapons. Every human aboard knew this was far from over. The aliens were not defeated, they were smart, patient, and ruthless. Commander Elara stood on the bridge of the lead scout, watching the radar carefully. Tiny blips flickered at the edge of detection. "They're coming again," she said softly, but there was no fear in her voice. Only resolve. Lieutenant Kieran frowned. "Commander, the readings are unusual. They're not attacking directly, they're circling us, almost studying us." Elara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Good. Let them study. Curiosity is dangerous for them. They're walking into our trap without realizing it." The aliens were cautious now. They had learned that direct attacks on humans were costly, but caution slowed them down. They underestimated humans again, humans who thrived in unpredictability and chaos. Suddenly, a massive alien dreadnought appeared from behind a dense asteroid field. Its dark hull seemed to absorb light, making it look even more menacing. Hundreds of smaller ships swarmed around it, attempting to create a shield. Kieran's voice shook slightly. "Commander, that ship alone could destroy half our convoy." Elara's eyes did not waver. "Then we make sure it doesn't get the chance." She pressed a sequence on the console, sending signals to every human ship. Hidden systems activated across the fleet. Energy pulses, stealth maneuvers, and plasma cannons came alive simultaneously. Humans had anticipated the arrival of this massive vessel. The dreadnought fired first. Energy beams ripped through the void, shattering asteroids and forcing human scouts to twist sharply. Alarms blared. "Brace!" shouted Elara. Every human ship responded instantly, dodging, countering, and striking with precision. The humans were few, but their coordination made them deadly. From the dreadnought's bridge, the alien commander's claws tapped furiously on the control panel. "How are they still moving so fast? Every attack we predict, they avoid it. Capture them. They cannot escape." But even as he barked orders, his fleet faltered under the relentless human counterattacks. The humans were not just defending, they were striking back. Scout ships darted in and out of the asteroid field, launching micromissiles and plasma bursts. Energy nets tangled engines. Mines detonated near alien ships, ripping through hulls. The dreadnought's massive cannons struggled to keep up, firing blindly at shadows and holograms. Elara's calm voice guided the convoy. "Divide the fleet. Lure the smaller ships into the trap. The dreadnought cannot cover everything." The humans executed flawlessly. Smaller alien fighters were drawn into the asteroid maze, where hidden traps tore through them with devastating accuracy. Kieran's eyes widened. "Commander, we're hitting their supply lines too. They can't recover from this." Elara nodded. "Exactly. Humans adapt. They underestimate us, and they pay." She glanced at the fading green blips of the alien ships on the radar. "We're making history today. Let them learn what happens when they try to dominate humans." In the chaos, one alien cruiser tried to flank the convoy, aiming directly for the lead scout. But the humans had anticipated it. A hidden plasma net fired from the scout's hull, entangling the cruiser's engines. It spun uncontrollably, colliding with an asteroid and exploding in a brilliant flash that lit the darkness. The dreadnought roared in fury, firing everything it had at the humans, but it was too late. The humans' attacks had disabled its systems. Its shields flickered and failed. Plasma pulses struck its engines, causing sparks and flames to erupt across its hull. It was massive, but its size made it an easy target for humans who knew exactly where to strike. Elara's voice was calm, almost serene. "Now, finish the sweep. Hit the command ships before they can regroup. Show them humans are not prey, they are predators." Every human ship responded in perfect unison. Lasers, plasma, and energy blasts tore through the remaining alien forces, leaving nothing but silence and drifting wreckage. The void was quiet again, But this silence was different. It was not fear. It was victory. The humans had not only survived the ambush, they had destroyed the main attack fleet. Every crew member aboard the convoy felt it, a sense of pride, of power, of invincibility. From a distance, the alien commander watched the devastation unfold. His fleet decimated, his command ships disabled, he realized a terrifying truth. Humans could not be captured. Humans could not be intimidated. Every move, every calculation, had failed because humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and ruthless when threatened. Ilara's final words echoed across the fleet. Let this be a lesson. No one attacks humans without consequences. They are the hunters now. And we are not finished. The ambush that was supposed to capture humans had backfired completely. Humanity had survived, adapted, and conquered. And somewhere deep in the darkness of space, the aliens knew one thing for certain. Underestimating humans was the biggest mistake they could ever make. The human convoy drifted silently through the void, but this silence was different. It was not fear. It was anticipation. Every crew member aboard the scout ships and transports knew the aliens would not give up. They had seen their fleets destroyed, their strategies fail, and their command shaken. But intelligence was not their only strength. The aliens were patient, cunning, and relentless. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the lead scout, staring at the radar. Green blips flickered on the edge of detection, reinforcements. Not hundreds, but thousands. They're coming, she said quietly, her voice calm but commanding. The crew leaned in, hearts racing. This was not a battle for survival. It was a battle for dominance. Lieutenant Kieran frowned, his hand hovering over the controls. Commander, they've learned from previous mistakes. Their approach is calculated. This time, they're moving in a tighter formation, covering all angles. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Good. That makes them predictable. Let's show them humans are the masters of unpredictability. The alien fleet emerged from the shadows like a tidal wave of steel and fire. Massive cruisers, sleek fighters, and deadly dreadnoughts moved in perfect synchronization. Their weapons glowed ominously, ready to tear through any ship in their path. The humans had no choice but to act, and they were ready. Initiate the ambush protocol, Ilara commanded. Hidden within every human ship were weapons and defenses the aliens had never seen. Mines, plasmanets, electromagnetic pulses, and holographic decoys came alive at once. The humans moved like a single organism, each ship covering the other, each pilot instinctively knowing the next move. The first wave of alien fighters surged forward, confident in their numbers. But they were met with a deadly surprise. Mines exploded in their path, tearing through engines. Plasma nets entangled ships, sending them spinning into asteroids. Laser blasts shredded hulls with precision, targeting weak points humans had studied in secret from previous encounters. Every attack was coordinated, lethal, and unpredictable. From the alien flagship, the commander's claws flew across the console. Why are they still surviving? Why are they anticipating everything? Panic seeped into his voice. His fleet was massive, but humans had proven time and again that numbers meant nothing against cunning, instinct, and adaptability. Ilara's voice cut through the tension. Focus on the dreadnoughts. Divide their formation and disable their command ships. Then the rest will fall like dominoes. The humans executed flawlessly. Smaller ships lured alien cruisers into asteroid fields rigged with hidden mines. Energy pulses disabled engines. Plasma cannons tore through command ships with surgical precision. Kieran's eyes widened as he watched the battlefield. Commander, they're breaking their formation. They're panicking. Our plan is working. Ilara nodded. Let them learn the cost of underestimating humans. Her hands moved swiftly over the controls, coordinating attacks, signaling ships, and preparing the next wave. Humans had survived ambushes, adapted, and now they were ready to turn the tide completely. The alien dreadnoughts, massive and powerful, tried to strike back. Their weapons fired relentlessly, energy beams tearing through space. But humans were already ahead. Decoys drew fire, mines exploded, and countermeasures neutralized their attacks. Every human ship moved unpredictably, striking when the enemy was weakest. One massive cruiser tried to flank the lead scout. Ilara had anticipated it. Hidden plasma devices fired from multiple human ships, entangling the cruiser's engines and disabling its weapons. It spun uncontrollably, colliding with debris from previous battles. Another explosion lit up the darkness, illuminating the human convoy in brief, brilliant flashes. The alien commander's frustration grew. His fleet was falling apart, his strategies failing at every turn. Capture them. They cannot escape. But even as he barked orders, his ships were being destroyed faster than he could manage. Ilara's voice echoed across the comms. Humans are not prey. We do not hide. We do not flee. We fight, we adapt, and we dominate. Let this be a lesson. Every human ship fired in unison, a coordinated wave of destruction that ripped through the remaining alien forces. In the silence that followed, the human convoy floated among the debris. Their ships were damaged, but still operational. Every crew member felt it, a sense of power, of pride, and a terrifying message to anyone who might threaten humanity in the future. The aliens retreated, battered and broken. For the first time, they realized humans were not just survivors, they were predators. They had learned, painfully, that ambushing humans was a mistake they could never repeat. Ilara allowed herself a brief smile. We've sent a message they'll never forget, she said softly. Humans fight differently. We think, adapt and survive. And we never forgive. The void was quiet again, but this quiet was temporary. Somewhere out there, more enemies were planning, scheming, and preparing to challenge humanity. But one thing was certain, humans would always rise, stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than anyone imagined. The first wave had been destroyed. The second wave had failed. Now humanity had sent a message across the stars, anyone who attacked them would regret it. And somewhere in the dark, the alien commander realized a chilling truth. Humans were not just fighters, they were the apex predators of the galaxy. The silence of space was broken by the faint hum of human engines as the convoy advanced. The battle had shifted from defense to offense. Every human pilot knew the truth. Survival was no longer enough. Now, they had to strike. Strike hard. Strike first. The aliens had underestimated humans, and that mistake would cost them everything. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the lead scout, her eyes scanning the horizon. Ahead, distant blips marked the alien command fleet, larger and more formidable than any force they had faced so far. Massive dreadnoughts led the formation, surrounded by swarms of agile fighters. The humans were outnumbered, but they had speed, tactics, and unpredictability on their side. Lieutenant Kieran's voice broke the tense silence. Commander, this is their main fleet. If we engage now, it could destroy us. Ilara's gaze hardened. Exactly why we strike now. Hesitation will only give them the advantage. Prepare all systems, this is our first strike, not just a counterattack. We hit them where it hurts. The convoy spread into attack formation, every ship moving with precision. Hidden weapons activated, plasma nets, energy mines, and advanced decoys designed to confuse sensors and target systems. Humans had learned from every previous encounter, and now their experience was weaponized. The alien fleet detected the humans' approach and reacted. Energy beams flared, cutting through the darkness, aimed at the lead scout. Alarms blared. "Brace!" shouted Ilara. Ships twisted and weaved, dodging the deadly blasts. But this time, the humans weren't only dodging, they were leading the aliens into traps. Small human scouts darted ahead, drawing enemy fire. Missiles streaked past, following decoys that mimicked human signatures. Mines hidden in asteroid fields detonated, ripping through the alien formation. The massive dreadnoughts were forced to slow, navigating carefully to avoid destruction. Every strike, every maneuver was calculated to maximize chaos among the aliens. From the bridge of the alien flagship, The commander's claws shook in frustration. Why are they attacking with strategy? They should not be able to predict us. Panic spread among his officers. They had assumed humans were reactive, not proactive. Yet here they were, forcing the aliens to fight on unfamiliar terms. Ilara's eyes glimmered with resolve. Target their command ships, she said softly. Disable their control. The rest will crumble. The convoy responded instantly, weapons firing in perfect unison. Plasma beams tore through hulls. Electromagnetic pulses disabled engines. Energy nets entangled ships, leaving them vulnerable. The humans' assault was precise, surgical, and devastating. Kiran could hardly believe what he saw. Commander, they're falling apart. Their formation is broken. The dreadnoughts, they can't coordinate anymore. Ilara nodded, her focus unwavering. Good. Keep the pressure. Hit their supply lines next. We leave nothing intact. Humans moved like shadows among the debris and stars, striking, vanishing, and striking again. Each move was unpredictable, impossible for the aliens to counter completely. A massive alien cruiser attempted to flank the lead scout, aiming for Ilara's ship directly. But humans had anticipated it. Hidden plasma devices fired simultaneously from several scouts, disabling the cruiser's engines. It spun uncontrollably, colliding with a nearby asteroid, exploding in a shower of fire and metal. The humans had turned the ambush against the ambushers. The alien flagship fired desperately, energy beams slicing through space, but the human ships were already too fast, too clever. Missiles detonated nearby, forcing the alien vessel to dodge. Another volley of plasma beams struck its engines, causing sparks and fires across the hull. Panic rippled through the alien crew. They had underestimated the humans once again. Ilara's voice rang across the comms. Let them remember this. Humans do not wait to be attacked. Humans strike. Humans survive. Humans dominate. Every ship fired simultaneously, a coordinated strike designed to cripple the alien command fleet. Systems failed. Communications broke. Engines exploded. One by one, the command ships were destroyed or disabled. The remaining alien fighters fled, battered and broken. They had learned something terrifying. Humans were not prey. Humans were hunters. They were predators who did not follow rules, who adapted instantly, who struck where it hurt most. For the humans, victory was not a moment. It was a process. They had taken the fight directly to the heart of the alien command, and the cost to the enemy was devastating. The ambush that was meant to capture humans had not only failed, it had reversed the balance of power entirely. Ilara allowed herself a brief, calm smile. We've done more than survive. We've shown them the cost of underestimating humans. This is just the beginning. They will remember this day. In the endless void, the alien commander realized a grim truth. Humans were not simply fighters, they were apex predators. Adaptable, intelligent, ruthless when cornered. And they would never again be underestimated. The first strike of the humans' counteroffensive was complete. But the war was far from over. Somewhere in the darkness, more alien forces were preparing. And humans would be ready. The void stretched endlessly ahead, but the human convoy moved with confidence. The battle so far had tested them, but humanity had not only survived, they had dominated. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the lead scout, her hands steady on the controls, her eyes scanning the distant blips of the remaining alien forces. Commander, Lieutenant Kiran said, tension in his voice, they've regrouped. It's their last line of defense. If they strike together, we could be in serious danger. Ilara's eyes narrowed. Then we strike first. Let them feel the full force of humanity before they can attack. The alien fleet emerged like a shadow rising over the stars. Massive dreadnoughts led the formation, accompanied by dozens of smaller ships ready to defend them. The humans were outnumbered, but every ship in the convoy was a weapon, every pilot trained to fight with instinct and precision. Ilara gave a single command. Initiate the final assault. Target their command ships. Focus fire on engines first, then weapons. Every ship moved in perfect unison, weaving through the void with deadly grace. Mines and plasmanets had been strategically placed in the asteroid fields, and holographic decoys now lured the enemy into traps the humans had prepared long ago. The first wave of alien ships charged. Lasers tore through the darkness, but the humans were ready. Scout ships darted forward, drawing fire and guiding the enemy into the deadly paths of hidden mines. Plasma beams erupted from human ships, striking the alien dreadnoughts with precision. Every movement was calculated but seemed instinctive, impossible to predict. From the alien flagship, the commander's claws banged on the control console. Why are they adapting? They should not survive this. Panic spread through the fleet. The humans were breaking formations, isolating ships, and destroying them piece by piece. The aliens had assumed humans were prey, but humans were predators. Kieran's voice shook slightly. Commander, we're hitting their engines. They can't coordinate anymore. The dreadnoughts, they're slowing down. Ilara's lips curved into a faint smile. Good. Keep pressure. Strike their weapons arrays next. She pressed several commands in rapid succession. Hidden energy pulses fired from human ships, striking alien weapon systems and disabling entire sections of their fleet. Fighters that had threatened the humans now spun helplessly in space, engines disabled, weapons offline. The alien commander roared in frustration. Capture them. Kill them all. Don't let them escape. But even as he ordered it, his fleet was collapsing under the humans' coordinated strikes. Every move the humans made was unpredictable, calculated, and devastating. One massive dreadnought tried to flank the lead scout, aiming to crush the humans' command. But the humans were ready. Plasmanets fired from multiple scouts simultaneously, entangling the dreadnought's engines. It spun uncontrollably, colliding with asteroids, its massive hull rupturing in a brilliant explosion. Ilara's voice cut through the comms, calm and resolute. Humans fight differently. We adapt. We survive. We dominate. Let this be a lesson for all who think they can prey on us. Every ship in the convoy fired in perfect synchronization. Lasers, plasma, and energy pulses tore through the remaining alien ships, leaving nothing but drifting wreckage. The surviving aliens attempted to retreat, but the humans pursued with precision. Every movement was calculated to disable, not just kill. The alien forces had learned too late that humanity's strength was in unpredictability, strategy, and unity. They had assumed humans were weak, easy prey, but every miscalculation had led to devastating losses. Finally, silence returned. The human convoy floated among the wreckage, battered but victorious. Every crew member knew the truth. They had not only survived, they had reshaped the battlefield. The ambush that was meant to capture humanity had failed completely, and the humans had emerged stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than ever before. From the shadows, the alien commander realized a horrifying truth. Humans could not be captured. Humans could not be intimidated. Humans were apex predators, willing to fight, adapt, and destroy anyone who dared to challenge them. Ilara allowed herself a small, calm smile. This is not the end, she said quietly. It is the beginning. Let them remember, humans do not yield. We do not retreat. And we never forgive. The stars were quiet now, but the echo of the battles lingered. Humanity had shown the galaxy its strength. They had survived impossible odds, turned ambushes into victories, and proven that underestimating humans was the greatest mistake anyone could make. And somewhere in the vast darkness of space, the aliens knew one thing for certain. When humans fight, they do not fight to survive, they fight to dominate.